Hello? Oh, you're muted. Hey there.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Can you hear me?
You're kind of glitchy a little bit. But yes, I can hear you.
I'm good. I'm in Moab, Utah in my motorhome.
Oh, cool. I am putting up, I just downloaded a different background for a rotary background, but it's not popping up. So does that look weird behind me? That's rotary.
Well, it had kind of, no, it's not weird. It looks okay.
I'm going to put the flag behind me during the pledge. Hey, listen, I never heard back from Dan Odell. I thought he was going to do the inspiration pledge and four-way test. Can you just start us off with the pledge and four-way test if he's not there? You don't have to do an inspiration off the cuff unless you want to.
Well, I actually had something the other day for inspiration. I can do that if you'd like.
Oh, fantastic. I haven't heard back from him. So if he doesn't show up to do that, I'll call on you.
Okay,
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it.
sure.
I am trying to save this image. Let's see if I can get this working. Something maybe a little more appropriate. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Hey, John. How are you, buddy?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Yay, it's Monday and it's a beautiful day outside. Makes me want to be out there in it.
I hear you.
We won't have a lot more of those beautiful days. This weather will change just any minute now.
Like Friday.
Is that when it's supposed to be? I knew it was supposed to be this week. I really didn't look close enough to see exactly when. Yeah, so I went out to Alcova yesterday and they've, of course, drained the lake and there's a lot of trash. And I thought, dang, if I would have gone out there a couple of weeks ago, that would have been a great Rotary project to go out there and pick up that trash before they
I would have.
fill that up. But, you know, the weather's coming in. That's going to be nasty. So I don't think we'll go out there and pick up trash. But I'm surprised the county didn't think to do something. Do you know how long it's going to be drained?
I think through most of December.
Okay. And then I hate to ask like a really silly question. How is that going to be filled back up? I mean, so I know like the Pathfinder has water, but it's not at 100%. So does it have enough water to fill that lake?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it won't get filled all the way back up full until like end of April or something like that.
Spring
1st
now?
of May.
Okay.
It'll
Okay.
still be like 10 feet below that's the winter level.
Okay. All right. Well, I just didn't know. This is all
Good.
new to me. Uh-oh. I just got a message from Megan Bratton. Is Rotary not at the Ramcota today? You would think
Nope.
so. She's right downstairs. You know, she and I talk about so much here at the library that I didn't realize I didn't tell her that. This morning I was leaving the house and Al said, so do you need all this computer and stuff for Rotary? And I said, well, no, it's Zoom only now. I said, apparently you don't read your emails. He said, I did see that. I just didn't know. So anyway, yeah. So we've just got people hopping on. Did y'all have, so how long have you been over at Moab, Jim Porter?
Well, we left last Thursday. There was a window open for weather. And so we thought we're going to get the heck out of here. And I don't know when we're coming back. That'll be something I'll worry about later on as a window to get home. But
Yeah.
right Now it's probably 65 degrees down here, no wind. It's actually t-shirt weather, and we're just having, but we're gonna go over to see Arches National Park and Canyonlands here in a little bit, and then later on go down south, and eventually probably next Monday I'll be in Phoenix, and so this Zoom thing worked out perfect.
Well, there you go. Well, I would say we did it just for you, but that wouldn't be honest. But hey, we can pretend like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it worked out perfect for you. I did like, I saw the messages you sent to the ones that you always invite, the former exchange students. And you said, hey, good news, we'll be able to see you and you'll be able to see us and we can interact. So for them, this is the best thing for them.
I hope so.
I am going to share this screen. So as people come on, oh, is it going? No, hold on, what happened?
Agenda.
I can see it, Lisa.
You can see the agenda?
Yeah, I can
Agendas.
see.
Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted you to see, is the agenda. That's not what it looks like on my computer, but I have two different screens, so it's really kind of weird. So as long as you can all see the agenda and kind of see what's going to go on, that's good. So we're going to do a few things differently today. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to do a couple of different things. We're going to, whoops, I'm going to mute and catch this call real quick if I can find the mute. So we were doing, when we went Zoom only at the beginning, we were getting quite a good number of people to come on. And then when we started doing hybrid, that was such a hot mess that I know that we lost some of our Zoomers. So I hope that those of you who attend today will encourage the rest of our Rotarian members, our Rotary members, to jump back on Zoom. I think today you're going to find that we got our stuff together. Now, I am only seeing, I don't see everybody, so I'm only seeing a few. John, are our speakers here? Are they on yet?
They're not yet, but I just talked to them here a few minutes ago, so they should be jumping on any minute.
Okay, no problem. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah, and I see, Lisa, that we are getting more and more folks popping in, so it may take a couple minutes before we get started.
Oh, you know how it is when we're sitting there eating lunch. We can all visit for a little while and then we start a few minutes late. So I'm not planning on starting at exactly noon. And let's see.
But I think looking at your agenda, I do think I've seen Jenna and Glenn for their portions of this, so that's good.
Yeah, and Glenn was just reminding me, he shared something with me to pop up on my screen during that time. So I'm going to see if I can get that ready to go for that time. Oh, I just gave you a surprise peek. It'll be ready in just a minute.
You're getting to be a Zoom expert.
Well, no, I will never be a Zoom expert, but it's much easier to Zoom than to hybrid, than to do both.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
Lisa, I do
saying,
see that one of our speakers has joined us.
okay,
But
and there is
I know
our
we-
Zoom expert. I see Mark Owens is on. He is our Zoom expert. Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. So after all of the jumping through fiery hoops to get it to where we could hybrid, here we are, Zoom only. But you know what? Hopefully this won't be forever or for a long period of time. At least now we have a game plan moving forward to make sure we know what we're doing.
At
when we
least
go hybrid.
I disagree with your assessment. I think if you can share screens and do that kind of stuff, you are a Zoom expert. So welcome.
Oh goodness. I want a little pin. I'm gonna make a badge. So I'm just leaving that up here for a little while. When we get going, I'm gonna pull that agenda down. But that way everybody can kind of get an idea of what today's gonna be like. Those of you who just popped on, I was saying earlier that we're gonna do a few different things today with our Zoom. After we do our guests and our pledge and all that stuff, we're gonna break out into some chat rooms. That's really to kind of simulate when we're meeting face to face and we're at the Ramcoda or wherever we meet, we're sitting at tables and we are engaging with each other and we're catching up and introducing friends and finding out what's going on with the family. And a breakout room will give you just that same opportunity to do that, because I don't know about you, but I miss connecting and knowing what's going on in your lives. And then later on, we're going to do, just before we have our speakers, we're going to do a little quick survey. And I call it a survey, but it's really like a poll. I've got a couple of questions to find out, what do you really know about the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra? There's no prizes. It's just to kind of lead into our speakers. And I think you'll find that it'll be enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to that. So I was saying earlier, I went out to Alcova yesterday. And of course, I know that you all are aware that they've drained that lake, I think, to work on the dam. And it is eerie when you go out there. It just is so different. I will say that Jenna Jensen, who's on here, it was largely because of the post that she made on her Facebook that I decided to go do that. So I'm so thrilled that you shared that, because it is cool. If you haven't been out there, I know the weather's fixing to change, but if you haven't been out there and you have time in the next day or two, I encourage you to run out to Alcova, because it's just crazy different.
Ooh, thanks, Lisa. Hey, you know what, too? I have a quick announcement to make once we get going that Anthony talked to me about that he wants me to make, because he's not going to be on, just so you know.
Okay, so I'm
going
going
to do with Alcova.
Oh, okay. I'm going to write that down, Jenna. But you know what? Because you know this better than anybody. When it's announcement time, if I forget and start to go past, you just say, hey, you hold on, girl. You wait for me. I have an announcement. You just speak right on it. But I'm going to write it down too.
Nope, I'm going to hide and pretend I didn't hear anything.
Hey, Lisa. Hey,
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
We are at a point where both of our main speakers have joined us.
Oh, fantastic.
And so I think everybody on your agenda is here.
Fantastic. I am going to stop screen sharing then. Let's see. If I pause share. No, that's pause. Do you see me now, or do you see my screen?
Your screen.
Okay, stop share. See,
There
Mark,
you
I
go.
told you, wasn't quite the expert.
You
All
got it.
right, so welcome everybody. So glad to have you here at our back to Zoom only Rotary meetings. I appreciate your patience with us as we pivot and shift to adjust to social dynamics and health dynamics and do our best to promote a safe and healthy Casper. You know, we all want to, as business leaders and community leaders, we want to make sure Casper businesses are as healthy as they can be. And one way we can do that, support them, is if we all stay healthy and we keep the people around us healthy, then we can still spend our dollars locally and shop and do the things that we need to do by not doing the things that we don't need to do. So that was largely a driving force behind the decision to go to Zoom only. But anyway, so here we go. We're going to start with our inspiration pledge and four-way test. I don't know if Dan Odell is on. I had reached out to him to see if he would do that today. If he's on, I'm going to give him just a second to unmute and say hello. And if he's not, I have an ace in the hole. He is on?
Yes.
Fantastic. Dan, did you get my email? Did you know that I asked you to do that?
I did not, but I'm happy to.
Well, if not, I do have an ace in the hole. I have somebody else who's also ready.
Okay, yeah. Let me defer to that person who's actually prepared today.
Okay, very
Sorry.
good. And I'll email you again. It's fine. It was a busy weekend, I know. Jim Porter
worries.
has graciously agreed to our inspiration pledge and four-way test today then.
Well, I'll do a little inspiration today. I feel like I'm lucky and I'm living the good life. I'm coming to you today from Moab, Utah. The other day, we decided to get out of that weather and spend about a month traveling around in a motorhome, and it's about 65 degrees here, t-shirt weather, and we're going to go out and see some national parks here in a little bit. But the inspiration there is work hard. It hopefully pays dividends down the road when you retire. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do is the truth. Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Jim. And you're making me jealous. John, I don't know if anybody's been chatting with you. Do we have any guests that you would like to introduce or lead into the introductions today?
So we do, but real quick, for everybody on there, just a quick reminder, if you have an announcement or something that you would like shared, send something to me in the chat or a question when we get to our speakers. If you have a question for anybody, send it through via chat and we'll make sure that we get it out there. I'll be monitoring that for everybody here. Obviously, we have our speakers that we'll get to here in a minute, but Ann Rubel, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce your guest today.
I do have a guest. I wanted everyone to welcome Andy Couch. Andy is the new director of the Nicolason Art Museum. He is moving here with his fiance from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we are very excited to have him and Katie become part of our community.
Fantastic. Andy, if you would unmute and say hello, that way you'll pop up on our screens and we can see you.
Thank you all for me today. It's a pleasure to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you and welcome to Casper.
Thank you.
And Lisa,
Okay.
I believe that's all the guests that we have today. If I'm missing somebody, please let me know, shoot me something in the chat and we'll go from there. Back to you, Lisa.
Fantastic. So next we'll do Family of Rotary and Rotarians of the Week. So if you have anything for either one of those, I would encourage you to shoot that into the chat. And I mentioned last week that Lori and Ted Klatt are headed to Cleveland. They're going tomorrow. Ted was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 renal carcinoma, and he is seeking treatment at one of the clinics in Cleveland and will start immunotherapy. They're headed out tomorrow. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers for safe travel and for recovery for Ted. Anything else for Rotarians of the Week or Family of Rotary? Okay, so seeing nothing, here we go. I'm going to give this a shot. I want us to break out into small, these will be randomly selected groups. Zoom will just do that for us here in just a second. And just chat with your fellow Rotarians about whatever's on your mind and just kind of catch up. But I will say, in case you don't necessarily have, sometimes a discussion starter is helpful. So one discussion starter is the whole draining of Alcova and how interesting that is. But here's another. So Thursday, November 4th is Will Rogers Day. So I would say by a show of hands, how many people know who Will Rogers is? But that may show a division of age there. I'm not sure. But Will Rogers is a great American humorist. He was born in what would become later Oklahoma in 1879. He died in a plane crash in Alaska in 1935. He was a trick roper, an all-around entertainer. And his rope tricks eventually led him to have a career on Broadway and in the movies. and later he became a broadcaster and a syndicated newspaper columnist. A lot of us might know he was kind of a folksy guy and had a lot to say with wit and wisdom. And here are a few of his quotes that that you may have heard before. One of them he said was, "Everybody is ignorant, but maybe on different subjects." Another thing he said was, "We can't all be heroes because somebody has to sit on the curb and applaud and wave as people go by." And another thing he said was, "Even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there." So I think these are, he's pretty witty, and it sure gives us a pause for thought. But so Thursday is Will Rogers Day, and we've got the draining of Alcova, and we just had Halloween, lots to talk about. I'm gonna set us up into breakout rooms. You'll have about 4 or 5 people in every room, and we'll break out for about maybe 8 to 10 minutes. So enjoy the discussion, and we'll see you back here in a little while. So you should be invited to go to your breakout room if you would just join and head on. Hey, Christopher, I see you here with me still. So for those of you who are just joining, is there anybody in the main room here with me? Christopher Dragon, I see that you're still in the main room. This is Lisa Scroggins. Are you near your computer? Hey, Chris, how are you?
I just went and got a tea, and I just
Oh, well,
I just came back, and now everyone's gone.
well, yeah, so we're in breakout rooms. Yeah, they're all visiting in breakout rooms. They have about 4 more minutes.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my God, did it finish already? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
surprise, we left without you.
How have you been?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You know, as good as I can be. I just got back from South Carolina. I arrived back yesterday. So I went for a little vacation. So
Oh, wonderful. Where did you go in South Carolina?
I was mainly on Edisto Island. So it's like one of the beaches there, but we visited Charleston a few times, which was nice. I've never been before, so it was great to kind of see.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That
Yeah,
part.
it's great.
Yeah, loved it.
I'm going to interrupt for just a second. Eric Easton, hey, I see that you're just hopping on. And we've broken out into small groups to just kind of visit and catch up with everybody. But they're going to be coming back to the main group here in about 3.5 minutes. Do you want to stick with us, or do you want to go to one of those breakout groups?
You know, it probably doesn't make any difference. If I can just stick on here, that'd be fun. I'll go grab something to eat.
Okay, yeah. So 3.5 minutes, and then we're going to come back as the main group together.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. And I see Nicole Tholson's trying to get connected. I think maybe she's having some issues with her audio. I don't know. Nicole, if you can hear me, we're in breakout groups, and we'll all be back together in just a minute. There are more than 4 people in this meeting. It makes it look really small. So where did you say again? Did you go in South? I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
Edisto
Island.
Eddystone Island. I don't know that. Okay. So I haven't been there a lot. I went to no, my stepkids, who are now grown and with kids and all of their own and all that, when they were younger, they lived with their mother in gosh, one of the barrier islands. I don't remember. Sullivan's Island. Yeah, South Carolina. So is it beautiful?
It was gorgeous, and it was perfect timing also, because the day I left was the day it started snowing quite hard in Colorado. So I escaped all of the cold. I was basically on a beach the whole time. So it worked out very well.
Worked out for you. Yeah, that's kind of perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, for me.
South Carolina is kind of that steamy, sticky heat though, right? So
yeah, it's
humid?
really humid.
Yeah.
Really humid and sticky the whole time. I was in Casper briefly before though. We had a little concert last week at the Nick. I also judged for the Dancing with the Stars, the Casper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I was at that event also, which was quite
How fun. Well, I would say when you're in town, give me a call and we'll do lunch or something. But I think you're just like, you hit town and leave so fast. It's like.
That week, especially, I was only there for 3 days that time. But yeah, next time I'm back in December, I'll be there for a week. So no, we should organize something then.
We should get together. That'd be great.
For sure.
Fantastic. So I will just say, I see Errol Miller jumped on. Hey, Errol, how are you? We've broken out into breakout sessions, and everybody's in small groups, kind of like to simulate being at the tables if we were face-to-face at the Ramkota. They're all just chatting up a storm, but in 1 minute and 12 seconds, they will be coming back to this main group. So we'll just hang out here, Errol. It's me and you and Mr. Dragon and Eric Easton and Nicole Tholson. And I think Nicole is still having a hard time getting connected. Poor thing. She must be somewhere with poor connectivity. Okay, so it looks like another 1 minute and we'll be. So this is something new for me, Christopher, as far as trying these breakout sessions. We haven't done this before.
How many virtual events have you done so far?
Well, we used to do all of our meetings by Zoom, and then we stopped, and then this is our first one going back. So we've been doing hybrid, where people could attend by Zoom, but we were also face to face. Right. And that was a hot mess. Oh my gosh, that was just crazy. But I think doing Zoom only is easier. And right before we have you speak, I don't know if you were told, we're going to do a little, how much do you know about the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra quiz? So just try to do things to engage the.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I would have had like a PowerPoint made, but I have no idea how to do it on Zoom and all this stuff. It was too hard.
It's all good. We are all good. Okay, I'm fixing to close all their rooms and bring them all back. This gives them 50 seconds to close and come back to us. All right. I'm just gonna say, it kind of makes me nervous doing all these different things. I'm gonna change, I had the flag up behind me for the pledge. I'm gonna change that back to a rotary background. It's so funny because on my computer, it looks like rotary is spelled backwards. I don't know why it looks
really?
wrong on mine. Yeah, it's weird. It's all backwards on mine. Hey, as y'all are coming back, welcome back. I would love to have just a tiny bit of feedback, maybe in that chat. What did you think to the breakout rooms? Did it make you feel connected with your fellow club members? I would love for you to pop something in chat and let me know if this is something you want us to continue doing or not. And as you come back, I would just encourage you all to make sure that you're muting your mics as you come back. You've probably been all unmuted and chatting up a storm. I know there's probably a way for me to mute everybody all at once, but I just don't remember where that is.
Hey, Lisa,
Yes.
if you open up the participants tab,
Okay.
there should be, for you, since you're the host, there should be a button up there that says mute all.
It does. It does.
I'm here for you.
You are here for me. I just love you for that. And I think Mark Owens, although he is muted, he probably would retract that "you're the Zoom expert now, Lisa" button badge. I should have ordered it while I had the chance. All right, I think that we are all getting back. We should all be back in the main room. Welcome back. So as you were coming out of your meetings, I asked you to pop in chat. What do you think about breaking into small groups? To me, it just kind of resembles sitting at a table, talking to each other. It's a way to meet our guests and to catch up with each other. But I would love your thoughts. You can pop them in chat either to me personally or to the group. That would be great. Your feedback is always important. And so now we're going to move to announcements. And because I am the queen of she forgets to call on people, I'm going to go first to Jenna Jensen. She has an announcement she's going to make for Anthony. Jenna?
Great. Hi. So my announcement for Anthony has to do with Alcova and our subject that we were talking about. He's in the middle of organizing and getting ready to do a cleanup, working with the city and the county to secure a date. And so tentatively, it looks like it's going to be November 14th that we all go out there. They're going to bring some big dumpsters and we're going to clean it up. So we're going to need all the participation that we can possibly muster up and get it all ready for the water to get filled back up. So stay tuned.
God, fantastic. See, I thought that maybe we'd missed that great opportunity, and here's Anthony. He is on top of it. So that is fantastic. Yay. Okay. Put that on your calendars, people. November the 14th. Great fun day at Alcova, picking up the trash where they've drained the lake and revealed some things that have fallen to the bottom of the water that are now on dry land. It is just the coolest thing ever.
But all the diamond rings are mine. I'll take them.
And I thought they were mine. Darn. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay. And then I think that Glenn Januska has an announcement. I don't know, Glenn, if you're going to do it or if Jenna's going to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and share this screen real quick.
You want me to start, Jenna?
She's saying yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There, I couldn't find my mute.
So as everybody probably knows, we did a Buck Off Polio 2.5 mile fun run and kids color run about a month ago. And so I wanted to just let everybody know how the event went. There you can see probably on your screen, and we'll send this. I'd like to be able to send this out also, especially because of the raffle prizes and the sponsors. But this was a multi-club event that included Reveille, Five Trails, our club, Rotaract, and Interact. And we ended up having 52 adults and 17 kids that participated or were registered, which was really, it was a good event. We actually, I don't remember what the date was, but we actually started talking about the planning of this.
It was your birthday.
It was your birthday, but the day that we started, we were in the Duck Derby trailer, and really kind of talked about getting this planned. And I know this was something that all the clubs had talked about up to that point, but we didn't have a whole lot of time to plan it. And I think if this is something that was done going forward, we'd probably even have better attendance if we got a little bit more, probably about a month more to advertise. But it was a really good event. It was great weather. And what we ended up with at the end, we made $4,525. You can see what the revenue was. We had limited expenses. A lot of what we had from expenses was donated in kind. And then that money went for polio. It was matched with the Bill and Melinda Gates, which they match every dollar that we come up with. They come up with $2, and it costs on average to immunize or for a kid about $3. So really that $4,525 really helped 4,525 kids. So the money's being collected. It's going to be divided among the 4 clubs, and then it will be sent on for polio. And this was, if you remember, this was an event that took place of Pints for Polio this year. So we could do this kind of with the social distancing, but really look at the companies that did the sponsorship and the raffles. This was really what made it successful for those businesses that contributed. And when you have an opportunity to thank them for their sponsorship, please do. We think that this is an event that could go forward again if this is something that the clubs wanted to participate again.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that, Glenn. That was really a phenomenal event that was put together, as you said, really quickly. And you and Jenna did a great job as the champions for our club for that project. I believe John Griffith has an announcement as well.
Actually, Lisa, I just got a note from Steve Lofton. Steve, do you want to touch on Food Bank of the Rockies?
Boy, do I ever. We need to get 5 or 6 or more. If we get up to 15 of those young people that were in our meeting last week, we'll really go fast. But a half a dozen would be what we need today at 1:30, and we'll just meet over at the Food Bank of the Rockies and pack boxes of usually frozen meat, but we get varieties of things. So thanks for coming out, and we'll see you over there.
Fantastic. And thank you, Steve. You are such a great champion for that project. And yeah, wouldn't it be great if we could be as fast as those kids? But you know, that's just not our reality. So many hands makes light work, doesn't it? Yeah. And I have an announcement. Since we're Zoom only, you know, the last couple of weeks I was passing around sign-up sheets for people to sign up to be greeters and to do the inspiration pledge and 4-way test. And of course, when we're Zoom only, we don't need greeters. We greet each other. But we do need volunteers for the inspiration pledge. Hal Hutchinson is going to do November the 16th, and that is the only date that we have somebody already scheduled for. So if you're interested in doing the inspiration pledge and 4-way test, would you please pop that into the chat here or send an email to me, and that way I can get you on the list. Nicole Folsom does a good job of keeping up with all of this, but when we're scattered from pillar to post because of COVID, it's kind of hard. So if you would just let us know if you're interested in this, we would greatly appreciate it. All right, so with that, are there any other announcements? Anybody have anything they need to announce for the greater good of the club?
Lisa, the only thing else that I would kind of highlight is we did get a lot of feedback back from the breakout rooms, and they seem to be a big hit, so well done.
Oh, fantastic. I stole that idea from the Lander Rotary Club. I'll come up with a better word than stole later. I was inspired by the club in Lander. That's better, to do breakout sessions. So yeah, I'm glad that seemed to go over well. So one other announcement, Paul Harris points. So for a while now, the board members, your club board members have been visiting about Paul Harris points that can go towards other members that don't have a Paul Harris. And so if you have contributed towards anything to go towards Paul Harris, you have received points. So when you get your Paul Harris +1 or +2, in addition to your dollars, every dollar you donate, you get points. And so the board would be interested to know how many of you would be interested in sharing those points with other club members so that we can have more in our club be designated as Paul Harris participants. So be thinking about that. I will send something out to you via email later to get your feedback. I'll probably just do some kind of a quick little Google survey or something. We're not going to do that during this meeting, but be thinking about that. That is an opportunity for us to engage members who aren't currently contributing to Paul Harris, and maybe they will decide to do the same. So, and that actually, you actually don't contribute to Paul Harris, you contribute to the Rotary Foundation. Sorry, misspoke there. So now we're going to move on to a classification talk. So we have, when we have new members, just as a reminder, one of the things that they do is they share a little bit about themselves with the club so we can kind of meet them. Often that happens when they're early as a new member, and it's somebody that hasn't really been involved yet. But the speaker today has already been a champion for a fundraiser and is just doing all kinds of wonderful things for our club. So Jenna Jensen, I'm going to kick it over to you and give you a few minutes to do your classification talk.
All righty, fantastic. I feel like it's all about me today. Like I should play that "This Is Me" song from The Showman or something. Hello, you all. I know a lot of you all know me anyhow, but I'm going to give you some little bit of background that I do have here. So I am not from Casper. I have been here though for 13 years. I was born and raised in northern Minnesota and left when I was about 18 and moved over to Nevada to go live with my real father. And then that's where I stayed until I moved here, and have a 12-year-old son that also, well, I suppose I have to start off like I'm married for 13 years and then we had a 12-year-old son after I moved here. So his name is Wyatt and he is in Centennial, 6th grade. Some of my hobbies, a lot of you know, I have a lot of talents, interests, and skills. I do enjoy doing a lot and staying active in the community. Some of the things that I do that I know interest a lot of people are, I belong to Sisters on the Fly, which is a trailer group, and that is what my license plate stands for, SOTF. A lot of people ask me, and that's what it is, Sisters on the Fly. It's a fly fishing group. It's a bunch of women, and we camp and we travel and we caravan around in little trailers like this. And so I've also remodel them and tear them apart and gut them. And I'm on my second one right now, but they're fun. And this is what I enjoy doing. Plus no men, no kids, just women, girls. We get wild and crazy. It's kind of like a grown-up Girl Scouts. The other thing that I do is, this is a fun side, and I have to say I mainly do this because it drives my husband absolutely bonkers. And so that's my driving force, but I'm an Eric Church groupie. So I follow Eric Church around in concerts when there are live concerts. And there's a bunch of us and we belong in the church choir. So, because his last name's Church. Anyhow, let's see, what else? You all know I love the outdoors. I love hunting and doing skiing. I teach over at Hogadon, downhill skiing to the young kids that come up for the school district, which is interesting, and I enjoy that. Also landscaping and floral designer. So if you need help, I have many talents and skills. Anyhow, moving on. I have a little hobby business. It was a full-time business for a long time there. I started when my son was 2 and used to do a lot of the farmers markets, and I built it into a home-based business, and it is the Brown Dog Barkery. So I make all natural treats for dogs, and some of you have seen me on my YouTube channel or my Facebook or Instagram. I do them live. So dog treats, I do all kinds of different things, gift baskets, holidays, you name it, I do it. Let's see, I'm so interesting. I promote and work for Wyoming Longhorn Landscaping, and that is a a company that is owned by a friend, and I've helped him out because of my talents with landscape design, floral design, and the many different studies I have taken. I'm on 6 different boards throughout the community. So again, staying very active. Some of them would be the downtown businesses, 4-H, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Casper Marathon, let's see, Respect Your River, and the Christmas Parade. So I'm on that committee too. So let's see, bringing it on to my education. I graduated from college at Casper College, and I also get a lot of this. Because I do everything online this year, including joining Rotary, I also graduated from UW online. So now I have a degree that was all online, and my classification doc is all online, and started off everything, orientation, all of it. Last but not least, all of these skills that I have led me to currently accepting a position over at the National Historical Trail Center Foundation. And I am delighted that this is where my path and my journey has concluded so far. And I couldn't be happier. So thank you, Bill Mortimer, also my sponsor. And now I'm on a board with him and helping to run the foundation. I am also doing some training thanks to Liz over at the Victim Services for the police department. So I am helping out with them too. So staying involved in the community is my jam. Thanks, guys. See you around.
Fantastic, Jenna. Yeah, and pretty much everywhere we go, we'll bump into you. You are one active person. You're amazing. So glad to have you as a member of the club, and thank you to Bill, your sponsor, for bringing you on.
Thank you.
And I think that you also are helping Anthony with the service, with his avenue of service as a board member, right? You're doing like smaller local projects?
Yes.
More about that later, right?
Yep.
Okay,
I am.
fantastic. I'm noticing over here in the chat, so thank you again, Jenna. That was fantastic. It's great to meet you. So I noticed in here in the chat that Andy Couch, I think if I recall correctly, that is our guest today, our new director at the NIC. And he says, check out the Will Rogers Motion Picture Festival. He's co-chairman for the film festival in Oklahoma. And the festival is virtual this year. He says, we have had hundreds of films submitted throughout the world. That is really cool. He gives the link there. So make sure you pop over into your chats and you can see that. So, all righty. I'm looking here at my notes from my agenda, because if I don't go by my notes, we go south real quick. So now we are going to move into a little quick quiz. So for those of you who haven't done one, what's going to happen is a quiz is going to pop up. It has multiple choice answers. And we'll give you just a couple of minutes to answer those questions. And then we're going to chat when we're finished about the information from the quiz. So let me get that started. It's just a way to learn more about Wyoming Symphony Orchestra and our presenter here in just a minute. So I'm going to launch this poll. Here we go. So do you all have, yeah, here we go. Do you all have a poll in front of you? Did it pop up? Okay, I'm seeing somebody shake.
So did we get to look over Rachel's shoulder?
Probably not, but she knows the answers. No cheating allowed, Glenn.
If we click some,
So we have 25 of our participants have voted already. We'll give you just another couple of seconds and then I'll close the poll and we'll chat about what the answers are. Okay, so I've closed the poll and now I'm not sure on your side, can you see the results of the poll? Oh no, here we go, share results. Now, can you see the results of the poll? Very good. Okay, so in question number 1, where does our symphony typically perform? You're right, they perform at the John F. Welch Auditorium. That's at Natrona County High School. We do know they sometimes do stuff in Washington Park, and they also do stuff at the Nick and other places as well. So, but they primarily go perform there at NC. What is musical director Christopher Dragon's home country? So the correct answer was answered by 24%. The correct answer is New Zealand. And if I remember correctly from last year, Christopher, you're from Perth, New Zealand, is that correct?
I should correct it. It's Australia.
It's
Australia. Not New Zealand.
Oh,
It's
hot
Australia.
dog. I did the wrong thing. Perth, Australia. Well,
Perth,
see, I
Australia.
wrote down the wrong answer. I remembered Perth, and you know, Rachel gave me the correct answer, and I put it wrong in my notes. So 60% got that correct. Fantastic. Number 3, how many seasons has the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra performed? So the correct answer is 70 seasons. They're actually entering their 71st season, right, Rachel? Yep, she says that's right. And then which famous composer's 250th birthday was celebrated in 2020? Again, maybe you knew this, and maybe it's because he visited us last year and he was mentioning this. But if I wrote down my correct answer, it's Beethoven. So we were celebrating his 250th birthday in 2020. So very good. So again, this is just something that we thought would be a fun way to engage and lead up to our presentation. So with that, Mr. Griffith, I think you're going to introduce our speakers today.
I am. Thank you, Lisa. And as you have mentioned today, we are lucky enough to have 2 speakers joining us for an exciting presentation about one of the most impactful cultural enhancements our city has. Joining us today is a Casper native and longtime arts and cultural ambassador for Casper, the executive director of Your Wyoming Symphony Orchestra, Miss Rachel Bailey. Tag teaming the presentation today with Rachel is a gentleman with the coolest name in the music business. He began his conducting studies in 2011 and was a member of the prestigious Symphony Services International Conductor Development Program in Australia. His studies have also taken him around the world with numerous distinguished conductors. He works regularly in Australia and has guest conducted numerous symphonies around that country. His debut at the Sydney Opera House was released on an album by ABC Music and won an award from the Australian Recording Industry Association. His international guest conducting of symphonies and festivals has taken him around the world and have included guest musicians such as Wynton Marsalis and his Swing Symphony. In 2019, he was selected to serve as the music director of the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra and also serves as the resident conductor of the Colorado Symphony. Rotarians, please join me in welcoming Mr. Christopher Dragon.
Great, thank you so much for that introduction. And I think to begin, I'll actually let Rachel start off our little discussion today with what we have planned. So Rachel, why don't you take it away?
Absolutely. Hopefully everybody can hear okay. So yeah, Christopher and I are really looking forward to starting our 71st season and with the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra. But before I do that, I do want to just give a little shout out and a welcome to our newest member of the arts community. People have talked about Andy Couch here online today, but I haven't actually gotten a chance to say welcome to the community and hello. And Christopher and I really look forward to working with you in the future. So the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra has been working very hard to ensure that we can have a 71st season. And what we've put together, we are really excited about. We have kind of taken into consideration all of the health and safety precautions, whilst at the same time trying to deliver a really quality programming and entertainment to the community this year. We know that everybody would like to get back to some normalcy. I see quite a few patrons of the symphony that are on this call today, and I can tell you that we are going to have a season, be it in the concert hall or out. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of information on how we're going to do that. And then I'm going to hand it over to Christopher to announce some of the more fun things this season, which is what we're doing artistically. We have had to be very creative with our concert season this year. Because we really want to ensure that everybody who wants to experience the symphony can do that. We've worked really hard with the school district, the health department, several other entities, and we've come up with Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and Plan D. But we're excited to say that we're pretty sure that we have a good plan, and that plan is really just to remain flexible. We are, instead of announcing an entire concert season this year, we are announcing each of our concerts individually. Now, Christopher will talk about later what we want to do ideally artistically, but we are actually going to release the concerts to the public one by one. So that means that we can adjust either the number of musicians that we have and the number of audience members that we have, to make sure that everybody can stay safe. So new this season, and it could be maybe the best thing that COVID has given us, is that we actually have an online ticketing system. In the past, I think as a lot of you know, we've sold tickets out of the office. We've done it all by hand. The staff has sorted them and mailed them out all by hand. And this year we are going to do it online. We're doing this because for the safety of the staff, but also to hopefully make it easier for our patrons to buy tickets. Never fear, if you need any help online, we are always here. Just to give us a call, and we can help you out with your tickets this year. Also new this season is we are going to live stream all of our concerts. This is a very exciting, I hope it's going to be a permanent new addition to the symphony, but it allows those who need to stay home, those with, that have a hard time getting to the symphony, to access the music in a comfortable situation in their home. And we're going to be able to live stream each of our concerts, starting with our December 5th concert. So we're going to have 5 concerts all together, and each of those are going to be accessible via live stream. We're really excited about this. We think that it can be a really important addition to the symphony moving forward for future seasons, because we hope that we are going to be able to get out into some of the Wyoming communities, kind of some of the more rural areas, continue to offer symphony to those that might not be able to make it to the auditorium. But I think it could also be a really great thing for families too, because you can enjoy it from your home. Kids can experience the music, and you can kind of do it in a setting where it's a more affordable option for the entire family to go. We will be charging for our live streams. They will be $12 per household. We also have a tech team that can help you out with any questions that you have about being able to access that live stream in your home. We're more than happy to troubleshoot over the phone, or even come to your house and help you set up. Some of the things that we're going to do to help keep people safe is kind of implementing safety protocols that we work through with the school district and the health department. Concerts are going to be an hour in length, and we are not going to have intermissions, so that it kind of compresses the amount of time that people are staying in the concert hall. Face coverings and masks will be required at all times. Our musicians will be wearing them as well. And we will also be following social distancing guidelines. So right now we will be selling every other row, and then we'll have about 3 seats in between the parties in the auditorium. And this is something, you know, when we talk about flexibility, this can change. If things get better, we can have more people in the auditorium. If things get, you know, worse, which they hopefully will not, we can move to an all live stream option. So, and with that, you know, I want to just, you know, we put all these precautions in place so that we can have a full and entertaining season with the WSO. And we are looking so forward to getting back into the music hall to create music for you. Which brings me to the main event, which is Christopher Dragon, and he's going to talk a little bit about what you can expect artistically this season. So we hope to see you all in the concert hall, and Christopher can tell you a little bit about what you're going to be able to hear.
Great, thanks, Rachel. First of all, I just want to say how great it is to be back speaking at the Rotary Club of Casper, even if it is just virtually for now. Actually, last time that I spoke back in early March, it was the same day that we decided to cancel our WSO concert week, and then later for the rest of our 1920 concert season. So I'm hoping that speaking today has the opposite outcome of this time. So first and foremost, as Rachel mentioned, the safety of our audience and our musicians is our priority, and we're taking all the necessary steps and precautions. Our administration has been researching COVID relentlessly, and I think they're some of the most informed people about how it impacts live performances and the safeguards that we need to take. So I'm extremely confident that with the steps that Rachel has outlined, that we can have music in a safe way in Casper. So our opening concert of the 2021 season is coming up in December and is a holiday concert that features our brass and percussion sections. I think this is a great way to start our season with a family concert full of Christmas cheer, which I'm sure everyone will agree is needed after such a kind of tumultuous 2020. It includes traditional Christmas music from all around the world, which I think is perfect for those of you who unfortunately had to cancel your travel plans this year. It also includes "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," narrated by Michael Stadelli, music from holiday movies such as The Grinch and Home Alone, and many other family favorites from Jingle Bells to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It is the perfect family concert to kind of start the holiday season. Now, due to the limited capacity in the hall, we will have 2 performances of this concert on the 5th and 6th of December, our usual Saturday night and an added Sunday matinee. And of course, we have our live streaming option for those of you who want to have a family sing along to all the festivities. Tickets will be going on sale very soon, I believe, so keep your eyes out for that. As Rachel mentioned, all of our remaining concerts for this season will be announced about a month before each of the concert dates, all of which can be found on our website. This is so we can stay kind of flexible with how the environment is constantly changing. Actually, I think this is kind of one of the strengths of being a rural orchestra, in that we're able to adapt and pivot so quickly, which is an easier thing to do compared to some of the bigger orchestras in the US, which have had to cancel their complete 2021 season. So I think we're very fortunate in that respect. So like the remainder of our concert season, I'll just tell you some of the highlights, as it can change depending on what happens. On the 9th of January, we'll have an all Mozart program that features both our string and woodwind sections. Mozart is kind of one of the great composers. And I think for many, whether you've listened to classical music or not, it is a composer that you've probably heard of before. He was extraordinary. In his short 35 years of life, he composed over 600 works, including some of the most famous operatic, orchestral, and chamber music. He was a prodigy, having composed his first piece at the age of just 5, his first symphony at the age of 8, and his first opera at the age of 11. The thing for me about Mozart's music is that it is so universally accessible. There is a humor and charm throughout all of it, which makes it just so pleasing to listen to, and why I think to this day, he is considered kind of one of the great composers. So if you've heard of the composer Mozart and have never listened to any of his music before, this is the kind of perfect concert for you. Our concert on the 6th of February finally features the soloist Simone Porter, who was supposed to perform with us back in March, which we unfortunately had to cancel. Simone is one of the rising stars in the violin world. She's already performed as a soloist with some of the biggest orchestras in the US, including the New York Philharmonic, the Philadelphia Orchestra, and the Los Angeles Philharmonic. So it's huge that she's coming to Casper to perform with us. At this stage, she will be performing Beethoven's Violin Concerto, which is the same piece that she was supposed to perform with us back in March. Our performance on the 13th of March is a little bit outside of the box, but in the greatest way. It features Frederick Gulda's Cello Concerto. Gulda was an Austrian pianist and composer who worked both in the classical and jazz fields. So if you YouTube him, you will see straight away that he's not your usual musician. To me, he comes across as kind of a rock star performing classical music. His cello concerto is totally wild, and it blurs the boundaries between all these kinds of different musical genres. Gulda describes it as being jazz, a minuet, rock, a smidgen of polka, a march, and a cadenza with two spots where the star cellist kind of improvises. The instrumentation of this piece is also quite unique, as it combines a wind and brass section with a jazz rhythm section of guitar, bass, and a drum set. So it is going to be something that the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra has never performed before. So I'm very excited about that. And we finally close our 2021 season with the return of violinist Sandy Cameron, who performed 3 pieces from the movie Schindler's List during our John Williams concert as part of our Pops in the Park back in 2019. I've worked with Sandy a few times, and she is one of my absolute favorite soloists to work with, as we have a very similar approach to music making. Not only can she really play the violin, but she performs with such kind of virtuosity and athleticism. She is like a real true performer. Some of the aspects of her career, which I think are a bit unusual, which you guys might find interesting, is that she was a performer with Cirque du Soleil. She's regularly collaborated with the renowned jazz trumpeter Chris Bodie. She has a strong working relationship with the film composer Danny Elfman, and she regularly performs at the Hollywood Bowl. So again, this is a great soloist that we're so proud to feature in Casper. And she will be joining us playing Bruch's Violin Concerto. So as Rachel outlined, although it has been difficult programming our 2021 season, I'm so excited with what we do have planned. There is fantastic music that I think is perfect for everyone. We are bringing world-class soloists to Casper, and we are providing live music in a safe way. As mentioned earlier, tickets for our December holiday concert will go on sale very soon. And I believe, Rachel, we have another Christmas community event that I'll let Rachel quickly touch upon. Rachel?
Yes, thank you, Christopher. Yeah, we want to invite, well, first of all, we want all of you to invite all of you to our holiday brass concert on December the 5th and 6th. It's going to be a wonderful show. And but we also have another exciting event that's happening within the arts community, and it is called our WSO Holiday Spectacular. And it is going to feature local performing arts organizations. Some of them you'll be familiar with, like such as Art Corps, Opera Wyoming, the Casper College Choir, and then we're going to have some WSO ensembles that are going to play. They're going to be playing in different places around town, and it will be an event that everybody can access virtually. So it will be all online, but it will be a fun evening on December the 18th. That's a Friday evening. It'll start at 7:30. And we hope that everybody will tune in to support Casper Performing Arts. The event itself is hosted by the WSO and First Interstate Bank, but it will, all of the funds like donations will go into a pot, and then we'll kind of divide it up between all of the organizations that are participating in it. So not only will it be like some fun holiday cheer, but it will also be a great way to support your arts organizations who are doing the best that we can to deliver some good holiday programming to you.
Well,
and more
fantastic.
information, I should say, sorry, more information on all of this will be available on our website, Wyoming Symphony Orchestra, or wyomingsymphony.org.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much. So Christopher, I'm going to kind of echo your sentiments. Maybe by having you come back now and speak, we will reset the world's whatever, and it'll all go back to normal, right? So I didn't realize that you were the last speaker before we shut down our face-to-face meetings as well. So that's kind of crazy. And really love the excitement that you bring, and look forward to all the fun of this year. What a great way to end 2020, which has definitely been a hard year, and begin our 2021 with this 71st season. I do see that we have one question over here. So Mark Owens wanted to know, I think this might be a question for you, Rachel. When you live stream, is that WSO going to live stream on YouTube, or do you have a different channel for that?
So what it is, so what you need to do to access the live stream is you'll need to go onto the Symphony website and purchase a live stream ticket. And that will then send you an email, which will have an access code. And then you'll go back to our website, type in that access code, and you'll be able to access the live stream. So it's all going to be kind of happening on wyomingsymphony.org. The tickets will be opening up tomorrow for those that have purchased season and pick 3 tickets in the past. The perk for being a season ticket holder is that you get to buy your tickets a little bit early. We'll be opening up ticket sales for the rest of the public next Monday. So everybody will be able to go on there, and I would definitely plan ahead, because we do have reduced seating, but we are offering 2 concerts. So hopefully everybody that wants to see it in person will be able to do it. But if not, then you can definitely live stream from the comfort of your home.
Phenomenal, thank you. And I know we have a couple more questions. Is that correct, John?
Yes, Lisa, it is. I've received a couple questions, and maybe this first one, and if anybody else, I guess, as I said, if anybody does have questions, send them over in the chat, and we'll make sure they get answered. First one, maybe you answered it, Rachel. Are you going to record your live streams for later viewing for the audience?
We do not have the ability to do that at this time. So the live streams, you will need to access it the night of the concerts. They will be at 7:30 on the concert evenings. Again, the dates will be on our website. That is something that we will hope to do in the future.
Awesome. And I'm not sure which one of the two of you wants to answer this, but how do you get your guest musicians to come to Casper?
Do you want me to answer this, Rachel? I don't know. Or do you want to answer? I can answer it. Well, I think part of the job as being music director is that I kind of invite the musicians or the soloists that I think will work well, that I've worked with personally. So I think a lot of it is the working relationship that I've made with certain soloists that I'm able to bring to Casper, because we've had such great performances together that they want to continue it. And quite honestly, a lot of the soloists that I have invited to Casper have absolutely loved it. Stephen Lynn is a pianist, which I brought during my audition time. He had such a great time that we brought him back the following season. And he's a guest that we will continue to bring back. Same with Sandy Cameron. So a lot of them are just working relationships that I've built up over the time. And I think it's a great thing for Casper that we're able to bring this quality of musicians to perform for all of us.
Awesome, thanks, Christopher. And then finally, Rachel, I'm guessing this is for you, but I know we're a ways out. Are you still planning to do some form of Pops in the Park in 2021?
Boy, we really hope so. We tried really hard to do it this year, and in the end, it just wasn't feasible. So I think that, I mean, I'd like to say with some fairly confidently that we will be able to do Pops in the Park this summer. I think that after we get through this concert season and be able to do it safely, there shouldn't be any reason why we can't.
Great, thanks, Rachel. Lisa, that is all the questions I've received, unless anybody has any last minute questions.
Okay, so thank you so much. I am looking forward to your season and looking forward to being able to enjoy some of the lively, starting with the Christmas stuff with my kiddos and my grandkids. Okay, so I just wanted to mention one of the things that we're going to be doing next week at our meeting is we have a whole slew of Paul Harris designations and recognitions to give out. So make sure that you pop in next week as we celebrate our fellow Rotarians for their generosity and giving to the Rotary International Foundation. And John, do you have the information on next week's speaker?
I do. Next week's speaker will be Carla Case from Kitchen Social here in downtown Casper, a pretty cool program that she's put together, and excited to have her share that with the club.
Fantastic. She's also a new business owner here in Casper that just got off the ground when COVID hit. It'll be interesting to see how that impacted her and her business. So with that, I don't have my bell here with me, but with that, I will say, remember that Rotary opens opportunities only if you share it with others. Again, thank you to Christopher and Rachel for speaking with us today and the excitement and enthusiasm you share for the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra. And to the members, have a great week. We will see you on Monday. Bye.